A great way to start the day and end it. I don't know whether you can see there, but I got some, whoops, it's all misty. Okay, well, once the mist has finally cleared from my lens, maybe you'll be able to see what that was. I mean, like, this is part of my recreational, like, habit type thing. It's called sitting down with a nice cup of tea. Yeah, the mist is now cleared from the lens, a bit like from my head at about 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, it takes me about 10 o'clock in the morning to wake up. Beautiful white tea on a glorious October day when the sky is grey and basically the weather is Octobery. Watch out, everybody. The forecast, or at least some people say the forecast for this winter, is going to be long and cold and possibly even some snow in some parts of the UK before October is out, with some other reports suggesting that we'll have a winter with alternating between cold periods and less cold periods. And basically, it's going to be a traditional English winter with everyone worrying about what the weather's going to be like, and probably the trains are going to grind to a halt in snow. That if they haven't ground to a halt because there's leaves on the line. Like, you know, we're in a country which has had real problems with leaves in the past. Be aware of that. You know, leaves are dangerous. The only leaves that I experience every single day come in cup form. So what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Someone approached me via Facebook and says, Nick, are you going to do any videos for Halloween? Okay. One thing I'll tell you about myself is that I used to seriously enjoy Halloween in a different way. Why? Because I felt bad. Okay, I felt kind of dark or angry or irritable or, I had some kind of like bitterness inside me. I was fighting financially, I was fighting for my work, I was fighting for this, that and the other, and of course my health was in a different state as well. So I used to love dark imagery. I still do, but I don't get the same pleasure from it. I really want to give you some kind of entertainment of a Halloween theme. Dust off the Ouija board. See if we can talk to the dead. But all those videos I used to do gained lots of lovely views in a day, didn't it? Those Ouija board videos. Good fun. Jolly, thoroughly enjoyable, and sometimes strange. And weird things happen. I had people reporting stuff in the comments that connected. You know what I mean? I mean, that was interesting stuff. People who had actually done more research into what I was, doing the Ouija board experiments into, and like, what the fuck? But it's always a bit, it's a bit difficult to say, isn't it? There is never going to be a time when you'll be able to say 100% that what's coming out of your Ouija board or pendulum dowsing is 100% genuine communication. And that is the answer to your questions. There's too many moving parts to it, okay? If you think about a car engine, you've got your drive shaft, you got your gearbox, you got your clutch, you've got the engine with its pistons, you got the cooling system, you got the I don't even know why I'm using a car analogy. I know nothing about the bloody things. But my point is, they've got lots of moving parts. So that's why you're going to the garage all the time with your, 16-year-old second-hand car. Or at least that's what I did when I had a 16-year-old second-hand car. Going to the garage all the time. Too many moving parts, things going wrong. Okay? So you couldn't always guarantee that you could get yourself to work. Now, when you're doing like a pendulum dowsing, or you're doing a Ouija board seance, or even if you're doing scrying or whatever, things will happen, things will come through, or things won't. But when they do, it's easy to jump to the conclusion that this is genuine. One of these things I both love and struggle with about those ghost hunting shows is the fact that they start with a narrative, don't they? They go to a place that's well known for historical character, okay? And then, hey presto, all of their investigations demonstrate that it was definitely that person, How many people died on that spot over the past 500 years, 1,000 years, million years, you know? How many people passed through that spot when they were on the way to the grave, you know? How do they know they're interpreting correctly what's come through, if what has come through is genuinely what's, you know, has genuinely come through? How do they know? They don't. It makes good television. It gets people excited, it gets people obsessed, and people like go into the theatre of the mind, they're trying to work things out in the back of their mind. Like a little, like a 5-year-old kid watching Doctor Who for the first time. Doesn't mean to say the conclusions they've come to is correct. Alright, there's one particular biblical phrase I love in the book of Proverbs, somewhere, I can't remember where. It says, every man is right in his own eyes. Okay, and people like to think they're right. They like to come to conclusions, whether rightly or wrongly, based upon correct or incorrect information. They like to think that the method they're using to approach the facts in question is appropriate and correct. Okay, and they want to think that their extrapolations from all of those facts is also correct, even though it's based upon their own frames of reference, their own ideas, and their own points of view, some of which could have a few too many moving parts to them, which could then be wrong. So when you're looking at a Ouija board seance, okay, when you're looking at like doing pendulum dowsing, you got a few different things going wrong. Number one, the person has too many moving parts which could go wrong in terms of the thoughts and the thought processes and the things that enable them to think or to process information. Oh God, there was this ghastly person I used to know, and he had this I know, elderly aunt, and she would always say about her, well, you know, she's got the little people. And I said, well, what do you mean? Well, things go missing in her house, and that's the little people taking them away. She was an old lady. She wasn't really with it. Of course she lost things and mislaid things. But it was because she wasn't with it. It wasn't because there was the brownies coming out from, you know, underneath the skirting board and diddly 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 diddly, oh, taking stuff and moving them around and yeah. Sorry to break it to you, man. You know, but that was his frame of reference. He analysed everything. He looked at everything from a specific interpretation of animistic pagan thought. Everything. I don't just mean some things, but everything. I mean, he was an extreme example of a fuck-up. And some of you people watching my channel are probably extreme examples of a fuck-up. You just don't know it yet. I used to be an extreme example of a fuck-up, and I didn't know it until I grew older. I was a very, very strange person. But I'm all better now. Yeah. But there is some kind of like real benefit to having reached this sort of like, you know, stage in life that I am. So like middle-aged, tea drinking, you know, boring person who's, you know, dealt with a lot of his life issues, improved his health of body and mind, is looking after his nutrition and that sort of stuff, and to still have an interest in all this weird stuff. Okay? Because I think you can look at all this stuff without any need to cross-reference it with any folk myth. I mean, this is another problem. The moment something is told to you, or you read something, it's a folk myth. Okay? It's not necessarily true or factual or accurate. It is merely reported to you, and it is therefore a folk myth. And that goes for everything. I think it was the comedian Jo Brand who, in her university days, studied the sociology of knowledge, I think it was, and she said they discovered that there was no such thing as a fact, because all the facts, you know, the known facts are changing with the passage of time, and so there's no actual facts in the world. Did I just go out on a tangent there? Okay. Either way. So, stopping thinking that we're right. Stopping thinking that we know everything, but still doing the actions anyway. Without telling anyone. Appears to be what makes sense at the moment. Because the experiences I've had, you wouldn't be able to explain any other way unless, of course, there was something supernatural, for want of a better word, going on. Okay, the astral projection, the ghost experience, the angel experience, the telepathy experience, dream telepathy, lots of little stuff. Energetic experiences, sending healing to someone who's sitting next to me in a meeting, and them receiving it, holding hands with someone in a pub and then them telling me that they felt something going up their arms and into them when I was sending energy to them without telling them that I was even involved in all this weird energy stuff. Using crystal points to change the properties of liquids so that when other people drank them they actually tasted and felt different things in them. I can't do that anymore, which is a shame. But these things happened. Okay? These things actually happened. And it's not a question of like, because we can do this, we are very powerful people. No, you're just people with all of the same psychological problems, intellectual problems, moral problems, psychodynamic fuck-ups going on inside you. You're just people. Nothing special about you, nothing superior, nothing different. And if you were that powerful, you wouldn't be in your current life situation now, would you? If you're honest with yourself. So, there will be a Halloween video, if all goes according to plan. I'm not promising anything spectacular. Just, just a little thing. But always with the inquiring mind. Always with the inquiring mind. Sleep tight.